Hey crew, it's Bit, and we're back with some more typology. Today we're going to be checking out a new start of a new series here. My girl Shannon had a great idea, and so what we're going to do is we're going to check out some of the major players in the political scene, some of the heroes and villains, so to speak. And we're going to start with Governor Ron Desantis. At the time of this interview, he was Congressman Ron Desantis. This is from April 2017. It's one of the longer form interviews. I like the long form interviews. And we're going to jump in a few minutes in. We're going to go ahead and pull it up to about, we'll go at 6 minutes here. And this was the Emory-Riddle University interview. And we're going to check out and see what type he is. We're going to see what we can learn about Governor DeSantis. And we're going to start a new series, and we're going to do some of the heroes. I consider Governor DeSantis one of the heroes in the fight. He has been a solid wall for his people, and so I consider him a hero. And then we're going to check out some of the arch villains, Soros and the Davos group and those people. And we're going to see what's going on with them too. With all that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. Please keep in mind that typology is subjective. There is nothing that I do here that is a medical diagnosis or any of that. This is us trying to understand typology better. This is me trying to help you to understand your own mind a little bit better. All right, let's go.
With us, the president had talked about how it would be good to get along with Russia, and it confused some people. So where do you think we're going with Russia?
Well, this idea that it'd be good to get along with Russia, yeah, it'd be good to get along with anybody, but you got to understand when you're dealing with somebody like Vladimir Putin, he does not see the world the same way that we see the world. He views the biggest tragedy in the 20th century to be the fall of Soviet communism and the evil empire. That was something that was responsible for enslaving millions of people. Millions died on the watch of communists, and yet he thinks that's a tragedy. He wants to reconstitute the Russian Empire. And so what you see with him in a place like Syria, and I think some of the administration's message about, oh, does Putin really want to be on the side of Assad and these unsavory characters? Honestly, I don't think he cares about that. What he sees in the Middle East is a chance to project power. He has access to a warm water port on the Mediterranean. He has the ability to launch aircraft in the region, and that brings him one step closer to having a mighty, expansive.
Okay, so right off the bat, I'm picking up a list of things here. I'm picking up some movement, and I'm picking up informative. We're gonna continue to watch, absolutely, but that's where I'm leaning. Just right off the bat, first impressions. I paid attention to Governor DeSantis throughout the years, but I've never really I don't follow people. I even Trump. I didn't follow Trump. I pay attention to what they say. I pay attention to what they do, but I've never really made it a habit to type people and pay attention to this type of thing. So this is going to be interesting for me.
Russia. And so I think that he's been a threat for a long time. Clinton tried to work with him. Bush tried to work with him. Obama tried to reset. Trump was very...
Okay, that is listing people as things. He's not talking about the people themselves, but rather the people in the office that they held, and that is people as things, and it is a list of them.
Very positive about Putin, and I think that reality is set in, that this is not going to work out that way, and you're better off dealing with Putin by being strong. I mean, we've tried to deal with some of this in the Congress. A couple years ago, we authorized lethal aid for Ukraine so that they could resist some of the Russian incursion. The Obama administration fought us on that, but I think that's the type of thing when Putin sees...
Also, he's saying we a lot, not saying I a lot. That's leaning me towards tribe. Tribe uses their whatever for the tribe first, then themselves. This seems to be a things organized tribe movement informative. That's what I'm looking at so far.
He can gain an inch. He's apt to take a mile. And basically, if America's not going to give him any pushback, I think he's going to continue to try to expand Russian influence.
And you can absolutely see that today. Like I'm trying not to get too political in what I'm doing, but I am a political person, so it is going to happen. Putin is not our friend. He never has been. Trump understood that in a way that it does not appear the other administrations do.
Last Wednesday, House Oversight and Reform Committee Chairman Jason Chaffetz and you, as the National Security Subcommittee Chairman, sent a letter to Rex Tillerson requesting documents and communications related to a 2013 chemical weapons deal made between the Obama administration and Syria. Do you believe that's all forthcoming? We're going to learn everything, or is this going to take a long time?
Well, we
Before he gets into, like, I got to keep stopping it for copyright issues. My Nicki Minaj one got blocked. It'll be up in a couple of days, but that's annoying. So I'm going to try and keep it from happening. Now we're going to let him talk.
We need to. I mean, if you guys remember, the president at that
He's addressing the tribe directly here in an interview. That's interesting. That is definitely tribe friendly.
time, President Obama drew a red line with respect to Syria and Assad if Assad used chemical weapons. I think that was a mistake to draw red lines because you should just keep people guessing what you're going to do. But he did it. He got to the point where Assad used them. They weren't in a position to make a persuasive case to use force, and so basically backed down. That was obviously an embarrassment. So what they were able to do...
So he's not listing ideas here. He's listing things.
At the time, they said, was get Assad to give up all of his chemical weapons. And so that was viewed as a success by the administration. They said, look, people criticize us for the red line. We got 100% of the weapons out. That would be better than a military strike, so people shouldn't criticize us. And Susan Rice, just 3 days before Obama left office, said that it was a coup to do that. John Kerry said they got 100%. Barack Obama, all this. Well, Assad is using chemical weapons. And so the question is...
Hey, now there's some controversy behind that. But the knowledge at the time was... And again, he's listing things. Oh, this is not ideas that he's talking about. It is actual things that have happened. It is actual people doing things. It is actual things in a list. It is not, this thing is over here, and this thing is over here, and this thing is over here. And you make the decision on it. It is, this is what is, this is what is, this is what is, in a list organized already.
Did he have chemical weapons all along? Are these new ones? And what piqued my interest was after the attack last week that Assad rendered against those innocent civilians, some of the former Obama administration officials were quoted as saying, look, you know, we knew all along that we didn't get all the chemical weapons. Oh, really? That's not what you told the American people. So,
okay, that's some tribe pushback right there. That is you lied to the tribe. What is wrong with you? And that, yeah.
We need to know the kind of what went on. What did they know? What did the State Department know? What was then communicated to the military?
Let me know all of the things. Put all these things in a list and give it to me.
I mean, don't forget, we have troops, a small number of...
Like, he's not wanting to go out and get the information himself. He's wanting the information already. He's wanting the organization in it. Yeah.
Combat advisors in Syria that are not necessarily in Assad's sphere of influence, but when I was in Iraq, for example, we carried the chemical suits around because you didn't. Obviously, that turned out not to be an issue. But what was known, and then what was told to the relevant committees in Congress and to the American people. And if you're saying publicly that you got 100%, but then privately within the administration you kind of are acknowledging that there's still some there, well, then that's a problem.
Yeah, we're definitely picking up an informative vibe off of this. Like, he's not chasing rabbit holes, but he is giving much more explanation than is necessary to answer the question. He's answering the question completely, and then he's adding extra things. That is informative. The chasing rabbit holes is a good way to check it, but this is also another way. This is not... Like a direct response to that would be a much shorter answer. Like, this is what happened, and that's it. Whereas Governor or Congressman DeSantis at the time, I'm gonna call him Governor DeSantis. Governor DeSantis, he expounds on the subject. He's not saying the minimum amount necessary to answer the question. Also, I'm picking up a heavy movement vibe off of him too. He's definitely engaged with the body. but the flexibility on the ideas appears to be there as well.
Let me come to domestic policy. Let's talk about health care. The president runs on this promise to totally eliminate Obamacare and repeal it, take it out. Congress, first out of the box, can't make it happen. Did the president set Congress up for an impossible task? Because it appears there was nothing on the drawing board ready to take the place of what the president said he wanted to get rid of.
Okay. He's very uncomfortable with this question. He completely shifted his entire body stance, and he's getting in the box. He does not want to answer this question.
I don't think it was the president. I mean, I think there was a decision.
That's some tribe interplay right there. Like, he knows that the tribe that is voting for him and that supports him is on the Trump train. He knows that. So he's not wanting to push back against the president in an extra manner. That doesn't mean that he won't push back against the president. I think that Governor DeSantis will do whatever is necessary to actually do his job. Well, it's one of the things I like about the man. But you can obviously tell he is not comfortable with it. And that's a little bit of tribe there, too.
Made in the Congress to basically write a bill in secret, come out with it in early March and say, you know, we're going to pass this in 2 or 3 weeks.
He doesn't like the fact that it was in secret.
And Republicans got mileage for years criticizing Pelosi and Reid for ramming Obamacare through.
Horrible, horrible program.
This would have made them blush. So you had a product that was not ready for prime time. It was a very flawed product, and it didn't really do what Republicans had campaigned to do. And if you think about the number one reason people get frustrated with Obamacare is that they were promised their premiums would go down $2,500 a year for family, and yet the premiums are going up, the deductibles are going up, and they have less access to choice in their plans. So
the thing that, all right, I'm not going to get up on my rant. The thing that people were pissed off about was the mandate. That's what pissed people off. That's what's pissing people off about this whole situation today. It is the mandating that is the problem. It is the saying to the American people, you have to do this. That's going to cause pushback every time. That's what happened with Obamacare. I am an advocate of actual healthcare reform. I want us to have good healthcare. I do. I don't want us to be mandated to pay a tax. That part pissed me off. I don't think it was implemented well. Anybody that thinks the federal government can handle healthcare has never been on Medicaid.
the bill that was done didn't address any of those core issues. It addressed things about sending Medicaid to the states, which I think is a
Organizing things.
good reform. It rolled back some of the taxes, although
Organizing things.
it kept the Cadillac tax, which I think is a bad tax. So it was not really consistent with what had been campaigned on. But the problem was less that you didn't have replacement elements. It was you kind of kept some of Obamacare. You tried to roll back.
And this is a movement. This is a movement. The way that he's explaining both sides of this issue right here, he's doing it in an informative manner, but he's flexing around the idea. He's saying this side of it, this is this side of it, and this is where I meet. That's flexibility. That is movement.
Back some of it. And to me, whether you like Obamacare or not, that's just not a coherent product to kind of try to put that together. I mean, Obamacare is very complicated, and the idea that you're going to roll back parts of it, keep other parts of it, and then somehow it's going to be good, that's just not, it wasn't going to lead to good policy. And what would have ended up happening, I think, and what a lot of health experts said, was that you'd actually see premiums increase over the next several years. So that would have been a total disaster, because that's the number one reason people are upset about it. So
No, it's not the number one reason. It's not. People were pissed off that it was high. That the price went up. Absolutely. That was not the number one reason. You organized that thing wrong.
So I think it was rushed through. I don't think that there was enough thought to it. And especially when you're talking about things like healthcare that affect people in a personal way, you want to be doing this so that you're dotting the I's and crossing the T's. And towards the
You want to do this in a way that organizes the thing.
end, there was a recognition
And the thing in this case being the healthcare. That's what he's saying. Y'all did not organize this thing right at all.
That there was flaws and you needed to, but it was like, we have this date, we got to pass it by this date, and that's it. Why? No one could really say why. There was no date that was pending. It was just they wanted to do it by that time.
They had to do it before the elections rolled through.
So I think it was a false start legislatively, and I think that if you're going to do it, slow down, do it right, and make sure that the American people see benefits of what you're doing.
All right, we're good here. That statement right there was another things, organized, tribe, movement, and informative. We're going to go ahead and do this. So let's transition over. And we're going to go ahead. This is things, organized, tribe, movement, informative. And we have an ESFJ. This is the stack. FE hero is going to care very much about what others feel. He's going to care very much about making other people feel grateful for what he does. And he's going to do this without even thinking about it. Like, he's going to take in this information without even considering it. Like, it's just automatically going to pop into his head. SI parent, he's going to feel responsible for making sure people know what to use. Like, sensory works like extroverted sensing is the actual physical things, and then introverted sensing is knowing what things to use. It's knowing that you need a 3/4 horsepower motor and not a 1/2 horsepower, because the 3/4 horsepower has the extra oomph that you need. And that is what the SI does. It tells you, we need to do this because this is the best option. We need to do this because this is the best option. In the parent slot, he's going to feel responsible for that. You can see that in the way that he governs. Any child is going to feel defensive over possibilities. Anything in your child slot is where you're going to feel the need to push back against everyone. If people come for whatever you have in this slot, what he has in this slot is seeing the possibilities. The weakness here is going to be missing the intentions of others. And feeling the need to be in the know. The politician, he absolutely feels the need to be in the know. Not a drawback. None of these are drawbacks. Everybody uses all of these things all the time. It's just the order in which you use them depends on how you process information. He's going to feel defensive over making sure that everybody has the possibility. You can see that in the current situation with him resisting mandates and him resisting these laws and things that are restricting other people's possibilities. Like, no, you don't get to do that. You do not get to restrict possibilities. If you want to wear a mask, then you wear that. If you want to get this thing, then you get this thing. But you're not going to say that everybody has to do it. That is in each eye. TI inferior is going to think he's great at determining true or false. Now, actually, you often assume correctness and ignore inputs. The ignoring inputs is the big thing for the TI inferior. You tend to ignore the things that you don't want to know, like the things that does not fit with what you have already decided. You're going to ignore it. FI nemesis, he's going to have a hard time dealing with the tribe's morals. He's going to be susceptible to manipulation by status. How will I feel if I do this thing? The nemesis slot and the inferior slot is where you receive the least amount of information. That's why they are the harder parts. We're going to get more into it at a later date, but the thought is like a waveform. And at the top and the bottom of the wave is where you get most of the information taken in. That is your hero and your demon slot. Nemesis and inferior are in the middle of the waveform, and most of the information has already been absorbed by the time it makes its way to you. SE critic's going to have a hard time accepting new data and new things. When you do, you may miss how they are used or what people do. Not trendy. It's going to have a hard time seeing the actual physical things and changing to allow those into his worldview. Because he has already slotted in what is the best thing it's hard to see a new best thing coming. NI trickster is going to be unaware of how to choose the right possibility. Going to have a harder time staying on task and working on willpower. You can see in this interview where he has a harder time choosing the best option. He lays out the options, but he doesn't really say, this is the option that we have to take. He will tell you that this seems to work the best, but not that this option is the one we have to take. That's why he pushes back against the mandates. He plays in with his NE child. TE demon. This is where the trouble's going to lie. It's going to be undermining yourself by not trusting the tribe's rationale. This is the pushback against the mandates. You can't seem to find what works for me, and you need to understand why the tribe has the ethics. In this particular case, dealing with mandates and things, I think that he is absolutely correct. He is pushing back against the mandates and the saying that you have to do this. Because he doesn't trust the experts. That's just the way that he's built. He doesn't trust the experts to narrow down the possibilities for it. And I can't say that I blame him. I'm built kind of the same way. Not exactly the same way, but kind of the same way. I don't trust the experts. I know too many of them. I know way too many of them. And so it's easy for me, and this is not about me. It's harder for him to be able to say, I'm just going to take you at face value because you have these letters. It's almost impossible for him to be like that, to say, well, you're a doctor, I'm just going to listen to you. He's not going to do that. It's just not going to happen. This is the way the stack works. This is how things play together. Like, I'll see more examples of Governor DeSantis, and now that I've got him typed out, like, I'll come back and I'll reference it. And one day I'm going to make a spreadsheet for this, but my SI demon doesn't let me do that real easy. I want to make a spreadsheet where I can list out all the people that I've typed, and then I can go back and easily reference them. I want to make that available to y'all. I'm not going to promise that's going to happen because I am SI demon, and that is a lot of organizing the sensors. We're going to wrap it up right there. We're going to leave it. This was a good one. I think this worked out right. It seems to fit for Governor DeSantis. It seems to fit for how he interacts, how he governs his state, how he was a congressman. It fits into the way his policy decisions are made. So I think it's going to work. We will be getting into typing more politicians. Let me know who you want to see. I'm going to check out Soros. I'm going to check out Klaus. I'm going to check out the arch villains. But I want to check out some of the heroes. I don't like using the hero because nobody is really a hero. But to keep in with the theme of the arch villains, because we absolutely have some arch villains out there. Bill Gates. So let me know who you want to see typed. Let me know in the comments below. And we're going to get into that. Thanks for hanging out. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me. And I am praying for you every single day. Y'all stay tuned. We're going to get some more typology going. This has been Pitt's Take. Peace.